Welcome to Board Game Archaeology, where we play time-worn games from the past. I'm Hunter.
I'm Rob.
And today, we're playing the Barnabas Collins Dark Shadows game.
The Barnabas Collins Dark Shadows games from 1969, based on the awesome TV series. This is from Milton Bradley, ages 6 to 14. Cool looking game.
The goal of the game is to be the first person to build your skeleton.
And the game comes with a coffin. Ours did not. It has a cardboard coffin, I believe, and it was missing. So I just 3D made one and printed one really quick. It comes with this cool case, though, that goes on the plastic thing on the cover. It comes with a bunch of skeletons that are inside here. It comes with a spinner, some vampire teeth, some cardboard stands, and I 3D printed the little stand holders for them. They weren't standing very well, so I just quickly designed these in Tinkercad. And and 3 stakes it comes, or multiple stakes in here too.
Or spikes, as we call them.
Or spikes, right, and that's something we'll talk about later. And of course, it's a spinner game, not a dice game or a card game.
Yeah, and although the game doesn't have a way of saying, like, this is how you start, essentially, we thought it would be a good way to do it where first person to get ring would start. But essentially, play would go that way, where it would bounce between us, where one of us is trying to get the skull or the torso, because that is the only piece that links off to other limbs. So if you got an arm or a leg, you just can't do anything that turn.
You got to build it by head, torso, and then upper arms, lower upper legs, lower arms. You can do it in any order as long as they fit in that structure.
Yeah, and the ring counts as a wild card, so you can pick which part you want. And the spikes,
which they call spikes,
as they call spikes, once you've collected 3 of them when you're playing, then you have to put them back into the coffin and remove one of the bones from your skeleton.
Yep.
In the advanced rules, the only difference there is that instead of just giving up a bone and the 3 spikes, you have an option to vampire duel one of the other players, which essentially involves both of you going until you get the ring. The challenged person will be the first person to go, and it goes from there. If you win, you don't have to remove any.
And I would lose 1.
But if I lose, I have to remove 2.
Right. So this is kind of like a hangman without words. This is just a spinning hangman. You're just trying to build something up with a spinner. And it really is just like a spin, 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 spin. I think playability-wise, the aesthetics to it, the vampire stuff, it coming with teeth. We had to buy new ones. This one did not come with its original teeth. And so kind of happy about that. So I picked up some new teeth, so we got some new teeth to play with too. But yeah, and these are just simple cardboard holders. So without the little stands that I made, were really kind of floppy and didn't hold them very well at all.
Yeah, honestly, I thought it was kind of an improvement on when you remade them.
Yeah, I had to. It was every time I tried to build it, it would flop forward the first time we played it. But it really does come down to just spinning, 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 and luck of the spinner. Whoever gets it first builds the skeleton, and it gets taken away. The advanced way at least gives you something different to do. And I think there's other things you could do to make it a little more exciting.
Yeah, honestly, I'm always going to be biased, as long-time viewers have acknowledged. I love anything that's kind of themed in that Halloween kind of aesthetic. I love the color scheme for the wheel, little pictures. Anything with skeletons, plural, that's always great. I always love a skeleton. And the idea of having it built out of a coffin, I really like that concept. So, like, a lot of it, it's really feels fixated towards me, but it does have that repetitive gameplay that, admittedly, it's like a very novelty thing. It's like you might post out like once a year on Halloween.
Yep. I do. Probably my favorite part is the game box. The box is fantastic. It's got the great likeness of Jonathan Frid. It's it's a great box from the 60s, and this is really, I think, what got a lot of us into the games were the awesome boxes, and that's why they're always displayed around, right? But yeah, I think the box art's great. The instructions are so simple. You know, I'm a big fan of when you have a game with the instructions on the box, and really, the advanced stuff is here, and the rest of it is really kind of fluff telling you how to take it apart and put it together. So super simple game. You could play it with younger than 6-year-olds because truly it's just building in order. And I think it would be, especially if you got those little monster kids, and I was one of them, that would find this to be super fun. I think little kids would really dig this. Where the older you get, the more it's like, well, that's cute and fun. And it's great that it's Dark Shadows and Barnabas Collins. I grew up watching it when I was a kid. But really, it's very repetitive. Maybe when you were watching the show, because if you were into it and you were a kid, those half-hour shows could get a little longer. You know, there were dramas. There were people talking back and forth, and they didn't always give us monsters. I mean, Barnabas didn't even show up, you know, for a while. So, you know, having a spinner game could help.
Yeah. And even like you don't need to get too intimidated because it looks like that back of the box really uses a lot of its space with the text, because most of it is kind of like in Melee when there's a whole section just dedicated to like this person does a turn, this is what happens, that kind of thing. It's like half of the instructions.
Yeah.
So it is something really easy that could be like taught to younger people.
Yeah, and the other thing is for some reason they missed the perfect opportunity. I mean, they have wooden stakes, right? And they call them spikes throughout the instructions. And it's like, why wouldn't you call them stakes? I mean, that's what we grew up wanting to kill vampires with. That's it, right? But no, they call them spikes. But no, to us, they're wooden stakes. You need to have a couple around the house just in case. Like dinosaur ground or earth, you know, it's good to have.
Yeah. Well, thanks for watching.
Yeah, and if you want to know more about us, check us out at toyarchaeology.com. Like us, subscribe to us, put the little bell thing, it'll give you notifications on when we have new shows. And find us on Facebook under Toy Archaeology. We're much more vocal on there. I show up models I'm building or whatever we're doing at that time. We're kind of kicking it out.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.